Hello, hello. All right. So we are on. I am in and we are on. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming over and hanging out with me today. I appreciate you coming through. If you are here with me, please say hi, wave, let's get it popping. Okay. So tonight, sorry, first of all, for my lateness, I like to say sorry to start off with because I just got home from work. So I was like rushing to get everything prepared or whatever for you guys. But tonight we got a few things we need to recap and talk about. But before we do, I want to share a testimony with you guys, like a very private story. I want to share it with you guys because y'all already know I'm getting ready to talk about a bunch of conflicts and crisis, right? On a Friday night. But let's go into it first with a good story. Something that happened to me. So I hold on. Make sure my chat like so was it yesterday? Yesterday, I went to work. So like I have two jobs, and one of my jobs, I travel like at least like an hour away from home, which is not a bad ride. It's like a straight ride or whatever. And so, but it takes gas and all that or whatever. So yesterday, I was getting ready to go home. And when I noticed, so of course, women, we always like, we're always on like E or we're always on a quarter tank. Like, I'll get the gas later, right? So, um, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get gas before I go home. And when I went to go get my bank card, it wasn't there. Like, I couldn't find it. It wasn't there. So now I'm being very open with you guys to tell you guys this story. Um, so of course I was frantic. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Because it's like broken traditions. First of all, what's up? Oh shoot, it is Friday the 13th. And thank you always, Broken Traditions, for showing up to the live. Um, so yeah, so I was like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Like I kind of was frantic. And actually was the day, it was Wednesday. My fault, it was Wednesday. And so now I'm like looking at my console for cash. I did not have any cash because I never have cash because I'm always using that bank card. And I put together $3.25 in coins. And I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna make it home. Like, I just know I'm not gonna make it home because it's like 60 miles and I only have 30 miles worth of gas. So I was like, I just gotta humble myself. Like, and I was praying, and at one point I got frustrated because I was like, oh my God, like, why is this happening now? Like, why now? Like, it's always something, the mind starts to go everywhere. It's like, it's always something, like, I don't understand why this is happening to me now, blah, blah. And, I'm trying to be more organized with a lot of things and da da da, so, I'm having a meltdown, but I'm praying and I'm half praying, really. I am half praying. And, um, I had to humble myself with the $3.25 in coins, walked up to the cashier at the gas station, was like, $3.25 on pump 8. Like, kind of like voice cracking because I'm like, this is crazy. Like, how am I gonna get home? And in the last minute, like right as I'm about to hand over all these coins, the lady behind me was like, no, 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 no. She was like, no. Put $15 on my pump and give her $5 towards her gas, added with the $3.25. She's like, that's just a bit much or whatever. And I started bawling immediately, like I did, because I didn't, first of all, I didn't even expect to be in that kind of a situation because, like I work and like I pretty much feel like I have things, organized and under control. And I'm like, why is this happening? And you just really don't know when somehow something might just happen, no matter how planned you are and prepared. But God is listening and sent an angel, like, this white lady who did not know me was like, no, like, here you go. And not only now so I'm over here trying to get just enough gas just to make it home. I had an overflow. You know what I mean? Like, I had plenty of gas. I got home, my card, I got a replacement the next day or whatever. So I'm fine with that. But you better get Apple. Traditions always has some sort of some like technology. The point that I'm making though is like, number one, we don't know like we're like what's gonna happen in life. Life happens, and you know, I make it a point to say like this white lady helped me because there's so much petty divisions. The media um is constantly like dividing us. Like if we weren't divided so much based off of so much of this ideology, we could get so much more done. And in the end of the day, when you're in a crisis, none of this stuff even really matters. I remember 9/11. I remember 9/11. When 9/11 happened, there was this footage like when 9/11 happened, some people happened to be taping, right, because the reporters were there. So some people left their cameras on. And I remember this particular footage of these people. They were running, trying to run away from the dust, because the buildings turned into dust. Another story for another day. But anyway, so when they were running from the dust or whatever, but the dust still caught up with them. So it dries you up immediately. And so this black man, he had like a water bottle with like a little bit left in it. And there was nothing but backwash in that bottle. But he took a swig and then he was like, anybody thirsty? Anybody want any? And this white lady was like, I'll have some. Yeah, because especially like a crisis like that, it's like, I don't care who you are, where you came from. My throat is dry, like it's dry all the way, and I just need to get this drink of water. So I'm gonna take this help from whoever I can get it from. So like these are all like lessons that um as we get older we learn them and stuff. I'm not saying like, oh, just run around just being I don't know. It's just these are the kind of stories to remember in these times of struggle. And there's a lot of times of struggle headed towards us. So anyway, I wanted to share that, but like we can be here for each other and we would get a lot more done together instead of divided. But it's all good. Thank you guys though for coming over and hanging out with me. If you are here, please smash that like button. Smash that like button. When you smash the like button, it lets everybody know that the best of the best is on YouTube tonight. And that's me. Okay. All right. So thank you, Traditions, for caring about me getting some gas. I really appreciate that. So, all right, y'all. So, y'all seen the title. And yes, we are doing a weekly, just a recap, because there was a lot of clown stuff that happened this week, starting with the airlines. And so I just wanted to just talk about it because I wanted to make videos about everything, but it sometimes gets a little like overwhelming because you're trying to go to work and get everything done. So, but anyway, so I wanted to talk about a few headlines. So why don't we just go ahead and get into it? We'll start with the FAA system failure, find out what's going on in this country and why travel is going to become a problem for they don't want you to travel. So all right, let's get started. And who's they, right? We know who they are. Them. All right. We'll use Fox Business. All right. So preceding this FAA travesty, if you will, we had I hate when they got all this stuff going on. I don't need all that. Preceding that, Southwest Airlines was canceling flights left and right, left and right, left and right. And a lot of people were like, oh, Southwest Airlines is a mess, this, that, and a third. And I'm like, there's something more to this story. And I'm still trying to find the more to this story. But it does not go like, it does not lose me that while that happened with Southwest West Airlines, like the very next week, they had to ground all the planes, you know? It does not, it's not lost on me. That's not a coincidence. Let's make that clear. Something's going on. So, because there's just too many coincidences nowadays. It really is. So, Federal Aviation Administration wide outage that led to mass flight delays and cancellations on Wednesdays. On Wednesday was the result of the actions of personnel who the agency said failed to follow procedures. Over the past 36 hours, FAA has been conducting preliminary analysis into notice to air mission system interruption. It said in the email statement to Fox Business, the agency determined that a data file was damaged by personnel who failed to follow procedures. I just don't believe that. The system is functioning properly and cancellations today are below 1%. ABC News, citing a senior FAA official, reported Thursday that the ground stop order that paused all domestic departures and the FAA system failures on Wednesday appeared to have been the result of a mistake that occurred during routine scheduled systems maintenance. Um, the official noted that the engineer replaced one file with another, not realizing the mistake was made. It remains unknown whether a disruption of Canada's NOTAM system the same day was connected with the US. I didn't even know Canada had the same problem. The official noted that the network that Canada has um, a more modern system and a fraction of US air traffic. Okay. US air travel return. Okay, return to normal. This is Pete Buttigieg, the one who does like nothing. Who does nothing. He promised a thorough examination to avoid another major failure. They stay promising a thorough examination. This has not only been just this past couple months. This has really been all 2022 for sure. Y'all remember, and it's not even just was it 2021 as well? Y'all do remember the Southwest when Southwest was canceling flights because technically they were on strike because of the mandates, but they're not allowed to say that they were on strike. Broken traditions. I need FAA to get together. I travel for work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like these people, but remember traditions. If you remember, when I first we was you was first watching my channel and stuff, and I was supposed to make this video about our airline system because I said we're going to see problems with our air our airplanes, our air travel. We're going to see a lot of problems coming with that in the future. It's almost to the point where, like, sometimes I psych myself out and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get on a plane, like, because it's just too much. Excuse me. We have a feckless administration that does not care. They want to destroy everything um that America's made of, and travel is one of them. It's like people control. Dig this. Why I said that? Like, number one, with all of this inflation, but yeah, you remember, and I made that video, and I got to go back and find that video because I never edited. I used sidebar. I used to be like, how is it? They like Tupac has thousands and thousands of songs. I'm like, that can't be true. Why does he have thousands of songs and didn't put them out? Like, why didn't he put them out? Like, now I get it. You make these videos like, all right, I'm gonna edit it tomorrow. You never do. So I get it. Okay. Anyway, so they first of all with the jet fuel, they want to change the jet fuel. Like they want to switch it out and use like sunflower oil and dandelion oil and stuff like that. And it's like, nah, just use the gas. Like, we can't keep doing this, man. Like, planes will fall this way. They will. So it's not I'm not lost by the fact that that happened. When I heard that happen, I immediately was like freaked out a little bit. Like I said, here we go. They had to ground the planes. Oh, he made a mistake. First of all, that's a bad lie. Like y'all should have came up with something better than that. I haven't been doing maintenance on the software system, right? Don't tell me that somebody made a mistake. One, that little mistake could kill a lot of people. So don't tell me that they just made a mistake. That's number one. Number two, I personally think that something was hacked. and somebody was in there getting some information. So, all right. So I heard some experts say that, like on a radio station, he was like, they probably were hacking looking for something. They really didn't want to ground, like they didn't want to cause the airline to get grounded because it draws too much attention on them. But they probably was in there hacking something. Then he said to look up the SolarWinds software system, and I started to look that up. And again, it's funny because that software system is actually connected to the Dominion voter machine that got hacked. I mean, that can cause it to get hacked or something like that. But I haven't done the full research on SolarWinds software. But the point is, something happened. So it makes me remember when hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if this thing will allow me to play. But StreamYard's kind of funny. I feel like if you try to switch up with it, it won't let you like switch up, and I'm on a delay. So let me see if I can't find hmm, why is let me do it. Okay. So here's the other thing, right? So here's a Boeing 737 Max makes first passenger flight in China. And so that's China doing that. 737 Max is coming back to China. Back to China. They keep saying back to China. Guess what? It's coming back to America too. What is the 737 Max? That was the plane that kept going down in 2019, and I think it went down like twice or it went down one time. Whatever, they couldn't. There was something about it that they could not fix, and around that time um around that time when that happened, I was in Haiti and I was supposed to take. Hello, JC. Thank you for coming. I was in Haiti, so I was supposed to take a Boeing back home, and then Donald Trump grounded all the 737 Max jets, and he was like, "They're not getting on the sky," and so people figure out what's wrong with it, and they could not fix the problem. But um, all of a sudden, the problem is fixed. The problem is fixed now. Is it really fixed? I don't know. This is, it's not to be trifled with, but 1 year after the 737, now this is from 2022, Max's return, Boeing is still trying to get back on course. And let's just take some key points. I'm not going to read the whole thing. 1 year after the regulators began clearing Boeing's embattled 737 Max to return to service, the company says more than 30 airlines around the world have been flying the planes virtually without incident for more than 800,000 hours. Wow. Didn't even know that they was. The plane had been grounded for 20 months, the longest such action for aviation history, following two. Yeah, it was two deadly crashes, and in part on an automated flight control system. Boeing has overhauled the plane's design and software and paid billions of dollars to try to move past the incidents. Some experts some experts say it remains to be seen if the company truly learned its lesson. Well, I surely hope they did because you got lives on the plane. So I don't know. Me personally, I don't think they did. So and I have to be careful because everybody's flying. But I keep hearing underground reports like people are like, y'all was on this plane, it felt rickety. Is the maintenance being done? Because one thing I know about this administration, they're feckless. They don't care about the maintenance. They can take, private flights all they want, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to travel. They don't want you to travel. So because you will own nothing and you'll be happy. I mean, this stuff is real. So I hope it's fixed. But I remember when they said it was fixed the first time, there was another expert on some radio show I was listening to who was like, Boeing put lipstick on a pig and the problem is not fixed. But anyway, they've been on the sky apparently and we haven't heard anything. So that's a good thing, right? But yes, there is a Netflix documentary about this. Yep, Delta does use them. All right, I see you traditions. Yes, they do use them, the traditions. So because they bought some or whatever. So I like I'm not here. It is just frustrating because like it's the simple things that we were used to doing to just get on a plane and go somewhere. But now, oh, somebody made a mistake. Like even let's pretend if that's true. So somebody made who y'all got working there, making mistakes that are causing all planes to be grounded. What's gonna happen? God. declassified. So that is my little report on that. But I need to go back in the Inflation Reduction Act doctrine and look at what exactly they have planned for um, our aviation systems, because they are going to replace a lot of stuff with renewables. Okay. And we all know renewables really just means broken. Okay. All right. So that's my report about that with the planes for now. In the meantime, God is still in control. Always, right? Okay. So if you have joined this live, please don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the sister out. And everybody gets to know that the party's actually over here. The party's right here. Okay. All right. So let's move right along. And we're gonna talk about um let's go ahead and get into Biden's classified documents. Um, Another clown world going on right now. Hold on. I mean, like, where do we even begin? Um, uh, I want to use the New York Times, but they're gonna try to put me on a paywall, and I'm not doing that. Here we go. I just want some quick updates. All right. So anyway, for anybody who doesn't know, Joe Biden was found to have classified documents. What the heck, yo? He was found to have classified documents uh in his office. Okay. All right. Apparently, after Joe Biden finished serving his term as vice president, he became a professor at the University of Penn, teaching something about diplomatic something with foreign something, teaching lies, okay? Because his foreign policy is really consists of, let me take dirty money from Ukraine and China and wherever else I can get it from. Okay. So in that school, he had an office, and apparently he, hey, Red Sings the Blues, thank you for coming. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you. So in that school, he had an office, and I guess he took a few things from the White House and decided to stash it in the office. A lot of people are saying because he was vice president, he wasn't allowed to declassify documents. But I saw somewhere where somebody was reading the codes where they said, Dick Cheney actually made it where presidents can declassify documents. I don't know. Um, and all right, we don't even need to so yeah, they got two batches. So now the first one was found in the office. Then the second batch was found in his garage. Just in the garage. Just in the garage is boxes of classified. First of all, what is it that's so classified? Like, apparently there's like all these hundreds of thousands of classified documents. Like, why is my tax money? Why can't I know what's going on? At least a good 80% of what's going on, because we don't know 80% of what's going on. I want to know. Anyway, so whoopsies. We're looking again and we found boxes of classified documents in the garage. In the garage. That's because that's where they should be, next to his car. So his people, his attorneys keep finding these things, and then they report it. They tell like, it's almost like they're telling on him. It's actually kind of odd. And but they found them, of course, before the they found them, of course, before the midterms, but we didn't find out till after the midterms. Like the laptop. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't hear about it until after the election, whatever. So they got a first batch and second batch. Now, what I'm hearing in these boxes is that these were documents about Ukraine and Iran and China. Okay. Of course, Ukraine. Joe Biden loves Ukraine. His son had a job at an energy company there, didn't know anything about energy, making mad millions of money while the people of Ukraine didn't have any energy. Okay. But anyway, that's what was there. So, but everybody says, well, it's not the same thing like Donald Trump. How is it not? Like, actually, this is worse, because Donald Trump, his classified documents were in a locked cabinet. He was working with the National Archives library or whatever, and asking them, like, how do I lock this up, whatever. And then, they just go raid his home. The FBI just raid his home. Joe Biden gets to keep his documents with the Christmas decorations, and nobody's raiding anything, even though the DOJ, Merrick Garland, has put out a special counsel to investigate Joe Biden. I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but I want to show you guys Joe Biden's where he was keeping his documents. So hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me see my bookmarks. See what I got bookmarked. This was me trying to get information about the FAA. I have like a lot of videos to make because there's just so much going on. It's like so freaking annoying. I can't stand this woman. All right, hold on. Yeah, there you go. But I hold on. I want y'all to I want to play this one. I like it.
Your Corvette. What were you thinking?
I hate when Twitter do that. Oh my god. It's gonna do it again too.
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Okay.
classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage. Okay, so it's not like you're sitting out in the street. But at any rate, yes, as well as my Corvette. But as I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously.
So meanwhile, and then he goes on to read about this thing, right? And then, like, if somebody said to you, like, yo, you took XYZ, you don't need to be like, oh, let me get my speech real quick and try to read it. And all right, I take class. Like, you just gonna be like, oh yeah, damn, my bad. I forgot I had grabbed them joints real quick, but yeah, I mean, I'm working with them right now. You know, he has to read everything out, and then he has a problem reading it. But you know, the ganglial carcinoma he probably has, you know, unfortunately, and I'm not even busting because Joe Biden told us that he has cancer. Okay. But everybody said he made a gaffe. I made a video about that. Y'all need to check it out because I don't care what nobody says. I do believe he has brain cancer. But anyway, you know, he struggles a lot. He does. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that to be funny at all. As much as I don't like this man, I would not wish any kind of harm on any person because my mortality. But that's, you know, so here he is, you know, it's in a lock garage, you know what I'm saying? So here's the lock garage, you know what I'm saying? So here it is right here.
I'm excited about it.
They saying this, they saying that like it's about right here somewhere that they found those
You think I'm
those classified documents. We have a two-tiered system in America, and let's just call it what it is. Joe Biden gets to have all these classified documents, and all you hear is people on MSNBC, everywhere else. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Like, but it is. It's actually, you're right. It's worse. It's worse. Oh, Trump didn't work with them. Trump this that. Like, y'all wake up in the morning or like, JC, why is JC laughing? Y'all tell me why you laughing. But y'all wake up in the morning like, all right, like they knew they like it's not the same. Like, why is it not the same? He had classified, he had stuff in places that he did not need to have it there. Okay. So there you go. And so then what's gonna have somebody said they just found more classified documents inside Biden's stove, which is another clown world that this administration was saying that we need to start giving up our gas stoves for climate change. Okay. All of this is distractions, though. I'm gonna keep it real with you. So let me just real quick say why I think this is happening. Okay, a little bit. Now, again, I'm more or less, when I say why I think this is happening, I'm like, hold on. I'm speculating because nobody calls me up and tells me the plans. but it's all connected. Right now, Ukraine is getting they're getting demolished by Russia. They are. And yeah, the Biden video, both of the the clown and videos are funny. I mean, but Ukraine is getting demolished by Russia. They are. No matter how much you're gonna watch CNN, everybody, when they report on this, they say, Ukraine's winning, Ukraine's winning. You see Zelensky at the Golden Globes because that's where a president that's in a war should be, is at the Golden Globes saying, we gotta you guys have to help us still fight, beat democracy. We're gonna be a free country, and it's Ukraine gonna make us a free country and a free world, um and I'm like, Ukraine is getting destroyed. They're getting chewed alive by Russia. Um and everybody knows this. But our government establishment, the West, refuses to lose to Russia. So they took Ukraine and said, go beat them up. I got your back, way back. Okay. But really, they don't, how, yeah, they knew that Ukraine was going to beat Russia. Like, that doesn't even make sense, right? Okay. So now it's to the point where Russia has taken over, like pretty much taken over like this small country, this country, Soledar, whatever. Like, this is happening. One thing I would say about Joe Biden, when he's lucid, he does say small things that make sense. Like, he's like, I'm not sending American troops to Ukraine. The minute an American troop goes into Ukraine, that's basically called World War III. And it's true. That is World War III. But these war hawks in America, you know what I'm saying? These Lindsey Grahams, these Raytheon, all that, you know what I'm saying? Kamala here, these war hawks who make the big bucks, they want to see it. They want to see the war. They do. And we're at a point where it's about to be, if they don't want to, quote, lose, if they're not ready to be embarrassed, the next step might have to come. And now, y'all know I've been against this thing from day one. If you watch my channel, go back and look. I call crap on this from day one. You don't tell me that some president of another country just decides to just invade a country just for reasons. No. And when we found out later that, those of us who are paying attention, it's not just for reasons. So they can't take this embarrassment. So I'm like, well, what's the next step? We keep sending so much arsenal to Ukraine that we're running out of our own weapon system. While I don't believe in offensive war, I do believe in having a good defense at home just in case something pops off. We're running out of that. We've already given them billions of dollars, and Janet Yellen is begging for more money to raise the debt ceiling, probably to send more to Ukraine. Okay? So what happens if Russia wins? It makes everybody look bad. I don't know. It's bad. And the places that Ukraine they're fighting, it's like, why do you even keep sending your soldiers there? Because all they do is die. So all they do is die. They go there to die. Are they trying to get rid of Joe Biden so that they can have an effective younger, more evil, Joe's pretty bad, president who's going to say, send the troops, or NATO go ahead? I don't know. Maybe because it's connected. Ukraine, let me tell you something. The people who are running the establishment machine that's running this country does not care about this country. We don't matter anymore to them. We don't. Ukraine comes first. Because anytime I got to look on television and I'm seeing it at the Capitol, House of Representatives, that a Ukraine flag is flying in that place, in our capital, that's a major, that right there is a major red flag. Like, yo, what is this? Like, if I was in Congress, I feel like I would have got up and be like, yo, what y'all doing? How do you think the American people are going to take this? But it's all about Ukraine, Like Kamala Harris told us almost a year ago, we're going to incur some costs for Ukraine. And you better believe that we do. We do. All this inflation and stuff, this is part. Ukraine is part of it. Anytime they print more money and send it over there. But anyway, they're at a point where they absolutely do want a global system. Traditions. They want the global system, and they're doing it through Ukraine. We are in a multipolar world right now, but while while so okay, I'm gonna digress for a second. I'm gonna come back. But they can't they feel like we can't let Vladimir Putin and Russia win. It it's inevitable. The country that they took over, Solidar, wasn't even taken over by the full Russian army. It's by a small organization. You know what I mean? This organization that's affiliated with the Russian army that came in. They, you know what I'm saying? They got the headway in that country. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't even need to deploy our full army. We had some mercenaries come through and shut down the Ukraine army in Solidar. Okay. So this is what we're dealing with here. Some very tactical, patient people who say, bring the, you could bring the adversaries to us and then we're just gonna grind them up. Okay. So anyway, to digress for a second, what you said, traditions, they do want a global system. And what they did with Libya, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Barack Obama, for the Libyan slave trade. With Muammar Gaddafi, when like the lies, my God. Anyway, I remember it. I remember this very clear. All of a sudden, Barack Obama just kept saying, Muammar Gaddafi's a terrorist. Muammar Gaddafi, he's bad. We need to get Muammar Gaddafi. And I'm like, who the hell is Muammar Gaddafi? I'm like, who's he? Because I didn't know. I didn't care. I was going shopping. I was hanging out with my friends. Like, who's that? Every time I turn on the radio, I keep hearing about Muammar Gaddafi. Then all of a sudden, Muammar Gaddafi was dead. And that's when I started to pay a teeny bit of attention. I was like, that doesn't feel right. Like, that doesn't. And then later on, you find out that while, yes, Muammar Gaddafi was a dictator, he still wanted to bring African money together and use a different kind of system, a different kind of gold system, and not use the Federal Reserve money, not use the American petrodollar. So he had to go. And so they think they could do the same thing with Vladimir Putin. This is different this time. It's not going to happen like that. It's not. They have to take Russia out in order to have their global system, but it's not going to work. It's not. And every day we stay in this situation, the more and more stronger Russia gets. And the freer they get too. They know how to work without American money. Kudos to them. So I think though something part of me is thinking like, yo, the Democrats are like, yo, we done with Joe. He's afraid to, go hard on Russia. He's afraid to do this. Look at him. He can't even stand up, whatever. Let's just get rid of him. I don't know, because this is not Republicans going after Joe Biden. This is Democrats that keep finding stuff at Joe Biden's house and then they telling on him. So I don't know. So that's all I can say. But this is a lot of why Trump had to go too. I do bring it back to Trump because this globalist movement wasn't going to happen under an America First nationalist president. He had to go, right? Because look at us today. There's bombs everywhere. Matter of fact, speaking of war, because like I said, it's going to be a bunch of stuff. I couldn't believe when I saw this. I was like, oh, okay. Even on a Friday, y'all just ready. Like, this is crazy. These people love it.
Summit.
Let's play it.
More than ever before, we're buttressing the U.S.-Japan alliance through deeper cooperation with other allies and partners through both regional and multilateral bodies. In the face of the DPRK's unlawful and reckless missile launches, including the launch of a long-range ballistic missile over Japan in October, we're deepening our trilateral cooperation with the Republic of Korea to deter and, if necessary, defend against aggression. That's a pledge the leaders of our three countries underscored in their November trilateral summit.
So what this guy's talking about now is that, we got to Blinken, U.S. is preparing to defend against North Korea if necessary. These people have a hard-on for nuclear war that is beyond my comprehension. I don't know. This is very much new to me, so I have to look into what is going on with this. But like, we didn't hear all this, in the last administration we didn't. Now these people, we defend against North Korea with what? Excuse me. We gave all our stuff to Ukraine. I don't know. I seriously don't know. But an empire has to fall from within. I do know that much. So, all right. So that's pretty much with the war talk. I mean, that's pretty much what I have for you for this Friday night. I started to pay attention to a lot. I listen to so much foreign news to find out what's going on and what we are getting involved with and who we're bothering next. You know, and there's one, about China. You're gonna see like a lot of conservatives and everybody, like when it's time to go for China, everybody gonna be down with it. Oh, because China's our worst enemy. Not really. We are our worst enemy. Okay? We are. But hey, thank you for watching, y'all. So please hit the like button, guys. All right, we're moving on to the next segment. So I guess, all right, we're done with the political stuff or whatever. We're wrapping up. I got 2 things to talk about, then we're done. And the first one is, because I wasn't gonna be on too long anyway. And then I'm gonna shorten this up and put it on my channel. Stuff that people say and they never get to it. Lisa Marie Presley dies at 54. Lisa Marie Presley. And we are, I knew it. Before anything, Lisa Marie Presley's addiction battles. It's a difficult path to overcome. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew that was coming next. Lisa Marie Presley, who died at age 54, had previously spoken about her struggles with drug addiction, which took the life of her father, Elvis Presley, when she was 9 years old. By the way, Elvis Presley died from trying to move his bowels, and his bowels were so, he was so constipated. I'm sorry, TMI. He was so constipated that he stimulated the vagal nerve that depresses your heart rate and can kill you. And it is because he took a lot of medications, a lot of drugs, yes, but not because he was like, sedated or something on drugs. It was just the dude was that hard. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley, died, and her mother is still alive. Thursday evening, after being rushed to the hospital for a possible cardiac arrest earlier in the day, her mother confirmed to people she was 54. It was a heavy heart that I must share this devastating news that my beautiful daughter, Lisa Marie, has left us, Priscilla said in a statement. She was the most passionate, strong, and loving woman I have ever known. We ask for privacy as we deal with this profound loss. Thank you for love and prayers. Prior to her death, Lisa Marie's setbacks were often the spotlight, including her battle with addiction. I do not ever remember seeing anything about her. I'm not saying that she didn't. I used to be into pop culture, especially this girl married Michael Jackson. So I used to be watching pop culture. I did not know that Lisa Marie had that hard of a drug addiction. I don't remember hearing about this. I don't. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just saying. The singer-songwriter first revealed in her addiction in painkillers and opioids in the foreword for Harry Nelson's book, The United States of Opioids. You may read this and wonder how, after losing people close to me, I also fell prey to opioids. She saw her father and Michael Jackson die from complications of drug abuse. I was recovering after the birth of my daughters when the doctor prescribed me opioids for pain. It took only a short-term prescription of opioids in the hospital for me to feel the need to keep taking them due to their dangerous addictive properties. It is a difficult path to overcome this dependence, and I put my life back together. She added, even in recent years, I have seen too many people struggle with addiction, died tragically for this. It's time for us to say goodbye to the shame about addiction. We have to stop blaming and judging ourselves and the people around us. So, all right, I'm grateful to be alive today for beautiful children. One of her kids did kill himself. Unfortunately, her son did. Her son Benjamin, he struggled with drugs, and I think he died by suicide. He did in 2020. A lot of people were committing suicide in 2020, sadly. So okay, all right. So there we go. So now, of course, we're gonna give the number, 1-800-662-HELP. Sam said yes, because we want to help people with drug addiction. I totally believe in doing things like that. I think that you should help people with drug addiction. I just don't think that Lisa Marie Presley died of a drug addiction. I believe she died from what they said, cardiac arrest. And there's a lot of, Like this conversation, I can't. I'm start. I don't know what else to say. Like people are collapsing and dying. They're collapsing and dying. I have a couple videos I made, and I'm just wondering if I should even put them out because I can't eat around the edge of stuff. I can't do it. Like I can't do it. Um, what am I supposed to say? When you know the pathophysiology of something, come on. We know how scared people were and they ran into something, they took something. And people are going to say, oh gosh, you're just trying to say every time something happens, you're going to say it's the jab. That's because that's how much I have a probability that the jab has of doing certain things, you know? And in this clown world we live in, the CDC is now trying to, they're trying to, um, they want to look into the connection between that situation and strokes. How many people had to die? Blood clots. If a blood clot lands, a blood clot, let's just do real quick patient education, right? Okay. You have a person who has a blood clot on their leg, right? They know they have this DVT, okay? And they might even have a stent or whatever to try to filter it out. You can't put on tight pants on that person. You can't. You can't put anything that can disrupt and dislodge the clot, because if that clot dislodges and lands somewhere else, it can cause catastrophic problems, such as, let's say that clot dislodges and then moves a little further up the leg and it stops at like a part of the vein. Now you stop in circulation, you can lose the leg. Or let's say that clot further, goes further up to the heart, and it obstructs the blood flow in the heart. This is when we get heart attack. This is when we get cardiac things like cardiac arrest, and the muscle around the heart starts to die immediately because the oxygen level is so sensitive. The oxygen has to be in the heart, and especially your brain too. Okay. Let's say the clot lodges somewhere in your lungs. You could die fast. You'll feel like a feeling of impending doom. You can't take a breath. It is a different kind of shortness of breath. Let's say the clot lodges somewhere in the brain. Now we're talking stroke, neurological disorders. So anything the CDC says, I look at with yes, and that with the big eyes, as you should. The CDC owns patents to many jabs, not just this one, many jabs. The jabs that they promote to us, the jabs that back in 2017, when I started to pay attention to stuff and I started asking questions, that they would say that you're crazy if you ask these questions about jabs. You cannot talk about jabs at all. Like I almost got like there was a couple times some of my posts were banned on Instagram about jabs. This is way before, this particular one. This is nothing new. What we're seeing is just now it's magnified to another level because of the formula that they use to make this jab. But anyway, people are collapsing. And these kind of collapse, you don't just come back and just be okay after them. And I've seen some of these clots that they're pulling out of these bodies. I've never seen anything like that in my nursing career. I've never learned about anything being that long. I've never learned about any clot that has that kind of consistency. I made an episode about it. Go look at my catalog and see. It is absolutely how am I wrong, right? So then somebody will say like, oh yeah, look at you, you're already saying that that's what it is. Yeah, but they just said it's substance abuse. You know what I'm saying? They already talking about. So it's okay to put that narrative on it, right? It's okay to put that narrative on it. But when I'm saying, why don't we pay attention to a new thing that happened? Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. It's political. I'm a nurse. It ain't nothing political. First of all, let's debunk that. Oh, it's MAGA people who, don't want the jab and they whatever. If it was so political, you don't think that people who supported Donald Trump would run and go take, since they think it's a call anyway, right? It doesn't make sense. Okay. It's not about that. It's about asking questions. And this it's just at the point where like, come on. We should be able to ask questions. Lisa Marie Presley is dead. Before her mother. That's not normal. A lot of things aren't normal. I don't know. I do know. I know. But here we are today. All right, guys. So thank you for watching. If you've come around and you haven't been here before, this is the That Girl KC channel. Please hit like and subscribe. Guys, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. So I got one more topic to talk about. And this one is going to be a little it's gonna be this one is gonna be touchy, but we gotta talk about it. So what is this guy's name? All right. I'm not going to show this video. And I'm not going to show the video because I just don't the video is too graphic for this channel. But I mean for YouTube anyway. But the first thing I saw was excuse me, about this story about this guy. First of all, why don't we get it out the way? Rest in peace to Keenan Anderson. It is tragic when somebody loses their life, especially like in a situation, a high, like a high stimulated situation. There's a lot going on. It is tragic. It is. So, and I understand with my own mortality under God, I'm not gonna say like, oh well, that's what he get. Like, I would never, I would never. But we need to talk about this. The LAPD murdered Keenan Anderson, a beloved high school English teacher and father who flagged them down for help at their car accident. He was a threat to no one. He needed help. It cost him his life. The LAPD must be held accountable for this at all costs. Let me be clear. The LAPD is very corrupt, right? It is. But when I read this, I said, damn, so what, they shot the boy? Like, they just shot him? Like, what happened? Why would they just shoot this guy? Because they said that he murdered them. And then I watched the video. And in the video, watch the full video, he's in the streets. He's like yelling and saying some stuff that does not make sense. And the cop is trying, like, well, what's your name? Won't you sit down? But he's not listening. To me, as a nurse, it looks like he's under the influence of something because he could not sit still and he's hyperstimulated. Okay. And the cop is trying to tell him, like, you have to like sit still because now you're looking like a threat to yourself and others. Okay. So I'm not gonna go as far as to say I don't know if he was a stand-up guy or not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was, and maybe he was having a bad day. This I'm not gonna go into the past person, but he was on drugs. He crashed a car, caused an accident, tried to steal a car, got caught by the cops, and wouldn't follow instructions. This is what they're saying. Now, so at this point, I'm not even talking about like, oh yeah, arrest all these people. I'm not saying none of that. I'm not even saying it like that, like I normally do say actually. But hold on. But what I'm saying is, in a situation like that, if you go back and you watch the video, all I could say is this: if I'm walking up on somebody and they like, like eyes is doing something and everything, my first instinct as a nurse is, I need Ativan, Benadryl, and Haldol. Okay, I've worked in a psych. I've been a psych nurse where they come in belligerent like that because they probably took something and now they're like delusional. Okay, so I don't know if he took something or not. Maybe he ran into some chemical or something. I don't know, but he did. He was not. He had a change in mental status. So when I heard they murdered him, I thought that it was that they shot him. Eventually, a person who's having this kind of change in mental status has got to be subdued. They do, because they are now, especially if they just cause a car accident and all that, they are now a threat to the danger to themselves and others. And technically, a lot of cops, when I was working in the psych hospital, a lot of cops would bring people like this in because they would need to be 302. We had to medicate them. So I see people saying like, "Oh, look what the LAPD did. They tased him 7 times." He he wouldn't stop moving. And I know people are like, "Oh, but y'all just be like, say resist, resist." I'm gonna tell you a personal story, not of me on the ground like that, but um, I told you, like I said, I worked at a psych hospital, and one time we had plenty of times we had to take people down. Now, I didn't necessarily take people down, but I had the medicine, the shot. Because these people get delirious, they start to pick things up and throw things, they become a danger to themselves and others. So, this particular man, I told him, I was like, but he was ordered medication, and if he didn't take it by mouth, he had to take it through the injection. So I walked up to this man and I said, he was a white man, right? And I said, you know, I was like, you gotta take the meds. Because I'm not taking the meds. I was like, if you don't take the meds, I have to give you a needle. Just take the meds. And he's like, I'm not taking it or whatever. I'm not taking it. I was like, so now I gotta get the needle. Like, which was like so annoying sometimes. It really was. So I get the fellas, right? And how many cops were there? I don't know. I think there were like 4 or something. So I get the cops. I mean, I get the fellas, my guys. And I think it was about like, I got like 5 guys to come with me, and I had the shot. And I was like, yo, I gotta give this to you. And I seen the guy back up against the wall. And the minute he did that, I said, "Oh my God, he's about to hit somebody." I know that move. When people, this guy's, he knew he must have fought multiple people before, because he backed against the wall. I said, "He's about to throw a punch," and he did. He threw a punch at one of the techs. It did not hit the tech, but now he had to go down, because the next step was he was coming for me with that shot. And so the fellas, you know what I'm saying? They took him down, and they took him down, and it was a bad takedown. They didn't mean to hurt him, but it was on concrete. It was bad. It looked bad. And then so then I had to reach over and then I give the needle. Okay. When this man got his head up off the ground, because it looks bad, because you got to hold them down. And when he got his head up off the ground, and all I saw was this knot and all this blood, I said, God, go on. I was like, I got to send him to the ER. I was like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, because that's a hematoma. I have to send him to the ER. I sent him to the ER. And as I'm sending him to the ER, now, mind you, this is a white man. Like y'all know, I'm not, but I'm telling you how it looks. And then a black nurse with 5 black techs, right? So all of a sudden, somebody from another department, no, the ER calls another department to about, oh, what happened here? Why does he look like this? It looked like he was beat up and everything, and he got punched and he got bruises. So they already was coming up with a story saying that we just hurt this guy, right? And then of course the person they called in the other department was so hyped to try to gas up the situation, was like, oh yeah, they're saying it looks like he's been punched. They said they could tell by the bruises. I said, really? He has raccoon like bruising? Because he didn't when he left here. He said, that's the only way you know that somebody's been hit on top of the head. Like, I was like, I'm not beat for it, because I've been doing this long enough. So I already know. I know how it looks too. It looks bad. But it had to be done. That's the thing. And so I'm like, well, first of all, but you know what I'm saying? And then so it became like an investigation. And my guys were on the camera. Nobody did anything that they weren't supposed to do, but some takedowns are simply bad. There's no matter what, it's not going to come out perfect. It's not. There's some that just simply are not going to come out perfect. And I'm talking about a psych hospital. I'm not even talking about in the streets. You there, you fighting, and that all they have is that taser. See, the thing is, I had the medicine, all right, like I gave it, right? But like, if I have somebody who continuously keeps fighting like that, and I give the medicine, now we got to get them over to the bed. We got to restrain them. There's a lot that could go wrong in this situation. I told you I already had to send this guy out. So when I saw the video, yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's not. But for y'all to tell me, for this person on Twitter to say, LAPD murdered this man when he got to the hospital. Yes, he had a cardiac arrest. We don't know if it was the drug. What was it? We don't know, right? But here's the thing. Yeah, they say they murdered him. So I'm thinking he got shot. This is not that. This is not that. And we should not jump for it to be that, because we end up missing, going past the life of this person and trying to turn it into an event. You know what I'm saying? For it's just an event to chant and put hashtags up. Leave it alone. This is not that. Okay. Then already you got people making press conferences. Oh, they tased him. They tased him. And so what now? So what? Oh, they didn't have to tase him. So what should they do now? What should they do? They don't use the guns like that no more. I'm not looking at them I'm just saying, I live in Philly. A lot of the stuff that they used to do, they don't do no more. Okay, that's nice. But guess what? 562 lives ended in 2021. 500 lives ended in 2022. It went down a little bit because they're so busy killing each other. There's not that many left to kill. And let me tell you something, 90 something percent of those people are black hands shooting black hands. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? Yeah, let's get lenient. Don't chase after them. You're not allowed to chase after them. Don't use the tasers. Don't, I'm not even going to talk about shooting them, right? Don't use the tasers. Don't use anything. And then when they finally get caught, somehow give them cashless bail, and so they could come out and kill somebody else. I can't tell you how many people have killed somebody who they already had priors and they were supposed to still be in jail about something else. We can't every time make this about that. We just simply can't. We can't. So this isn't picking up that much traction like I thought it would, but it's just always the march and the march. Like, I feel bad for this guy. I really feel bad for his son. I do. But I know too many brothers personally who don't get caught up in any of this. I don't know. When I think black man, I don't think the cops are going to kill him. I don't. When I think black man, I think strong, beautiful, smart, intelligent, smart and intelligent, same word. You know what I mean? Providers, protectors, this, that. I don't know I don't know any black man personally that is afraid to step outside their house because they think a cop is going to kill them. I simply just don't know people like that. I don't. And I'm proud not to. And I know people who've been through stuff and they still don't feel like that. So I'm just saying, why don't we just respect the boy's life, though? Like, that's a shame. Let's learn from whatever had him like that. Who said the Painful Excellence podcast? Yo, the Painful Excellence. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. I have to check you out. Did I subscribe to you yet? Okay. So, but yeah, I hope whatever had him in that position, his family can figure out what went wrong. I feel very bad for his son. That's why I really feel bad for his son. And I feel like when you have children, you should not be involved. I don't know what he was doing. I'm just saying, like, when you got kids, man, like, it's like, come on, man. Like, that's why I feel bad for his kid, you know? JC, tell us how you were scared a couple years ago. So please write it for me. Like, I'm sorry, but like I get it, like, but I'm saying, like, every day, that's what they tell us, is that every day black men are afraid to walk outside the house because the cop is gonna come. I'm sorry, I don't know nobody who feels like that every day. I know people who feel like every day when they walk out that they're gonna get in some drama with other black folk. I'm just saying, I work in the prison, yo. Like, I'm a prison nurse. I see what's coming in. And I hear how they talk. Trust me, they're not afraid of the cops. Be clear that they think the cops are a joke. Be very clear, especially this new generation coming in. That they're like back in the day, like, as I work at the adult prison, like, the youngest you have, like 23, 24. They're 18. They're just turning 18 and they're coming straight to the big adult jail. Okay? Because of drama in the streets. There's not the cop they scared of. They don't talk nothing about a cop. They don't talk nothing about white supremacy and none of that. But they talk about each other. Like, it's stupid beef too. Like beef, like, yeah, I'm from A town and you're from D town. And I heard you was talking about A town. So now I gotta shoot you. Like, what? Like, dang. I talked to them and I asked them, I'm like, well, what do you think? And they're not afraid of, they don't They don't even fear the cops. They said it's like there's not that much accountability out here. They know they could get away with certain things. They know what to say. They know how to play the system. They absolutely do. They're fine, you know, and they're very entitled when they come in. You know, they don't care. They're not humbled at all. They don't learn nothing in the jail because you're supposed to learn so that you don't come back here. Don't learn nothing. It's terrible. It's a terrible trap. It's a progressive trap. It's a progressive policies that are killing black people. I say it all the time. Progressive policies are killing black people. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I do know because I see it firsthand. So I'm just speaking on the reality. And it's a lot of these kids too. And they're kids, because come on, you 18 coming in. Some of them they be like, I just that's my life. Like this is the reality of my life. And da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, so when you get out of here, and they have a lot of programs for them. A lot of programs. Like, yo, when you get out of here, won't you learn how to drive a truck and drive away from Philly? That's the only way you're gonna get away from. That's the only way you're gonna survive is to leave the here because you so deep into the block drama that now you can't even go to the you can't even go to the store without getting dropped. You know, one of them was telling me like, "Oh my God, like I have like a bunch of people in here, guys. Thank you for coming. Please don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Please don't forget to hit the like button." I feel like fuck it, we could just sorry for cursing. I feel like we could just peruse through my Twitter at this point because y'all giving me the motivation to stay on. I was about to turn this off, but this is like really fun. Um, so yeah, so like there, I had one tell me yeah, I was holding my best friend and he was bleeding to death, man. I'm like, yo, man, this ain't nothing to be proud. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is your real life, and we do need to figure out why that's happening too. Like, why is that happening? But we need to clean the streets first before we can do that. There was a short period of time when brothers were dying from copy. There was, at an alarming rate with deadly shootings. I got two young sons. I totally listen. I get that. I totally get that. I do. There was a short period of time where that was happening. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm not. I'm just saying that. And God bless you and your two young sons. And I'm glad they have a dad like you. I'm glad they have a dad like you, a black dad. I love to see black men being fathers. I think it's beautiful. I do. But this generation, this right now, today, that's not what's going on. These kids, I'm telling you, I talk to them and they're like, you know, the ones that are in this, they're like, thank you for that compliment. I really appreciate you, JC. Yeah, there, and if anybody wants to reach me, let me see. I should put my Twitter handle on the like because I don't know how else you could reach me. I'll put my Twitter handle on the joint. But yeah, so they these kids come in, they don't care. They call themselves like demons and everything. Like they don't call themselves thugs. They be like, yo, I'm a demon. Like, dog, what do you mean you a demon? Like it's just sad. It's really sad. Hold on. I just want to put my handle on here for you all. Like, so if anybody wants to, you know what I mean, check me out. Come on. Hold on. How do I sorry. Go on. All right. Anyway, so it's terrible. It really is. It's terrible. Like, all right, that's my Twitter. If anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, and you could DM me, whatever, message me on Twitter, or whatever. If you don't have a Twitter, I should probably get my I'll get my the link to my Instagram that I like barely use. So yeah, so it's terrible, man. It's terrible. Like they're not afraid. Like they're not afraid, and this is a problem. And all right, like for me, I think okay, you know what, we talking tonight, right? So like we have to keep it real about everything. So thank you, JC. So we gotta keep it real about everything. It starts at home, right? It starts at home. It does start at home. Denzel Washington said that a long time ago. He was like, it starts at home. And if home isn't right, then the government is going to be the parents. So I know like it's not easy for like a single mom. Listen, I'm not in that person's shoes or anything. I'm sure there's a lot of frustrations that come with it. But I have heard like how, okay, you'll take a small little kid, right? At the laundry, he's 2 years old, and he saw some Funyuns. This is like a real story. And then he wanted the Funyuns, and then mom got him the Funyuns. But after he got the Funyuns, he saw the Reese's, and then he wanted the Reese's. Like 2 or 3 years old. First of all, like, why is he eating Funyuns? Okay, so anyway, so when mom saw, like, then his face was sad. He's like, "Cause I want that." And she was like, she grabbed the joint. She was like, "Nah, you ain't getting nothing." And I'm like, "Dang." Like, he's only 3. Like, he doesn't know. Or when I hear moms, like, "That's why you bad as ish now." Not really good, because the child continuously thinks that they're bad as ish for real, right? I know there's a lot going on. And so then these kids, they grow up in these situations, these environments where everybody's angry. So they barely want to be home. So they want to go somewhere a lot of times to escape this miserable, I don't want to say this miserable life, but just escape. And then they're escaping the wrong ways because they're stupid, because they're kids. They're 12, 13. Kids don't know, like, let me go escape and learn how to, like, swim or something. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna follow their friends and do dumb stuff. They're stupid. I did dumb stuff. I was 12, 13. And um hold on. Yeah. And so then they get caught up, and they feel worthless a lot of times. A lot of times they do. They feel worthless. Somebody been telling them they bad all this time. Moms ain't really paying attention. Kids like parameters, even though they're not going to say they like parameters, because they like to meet a challenge and know, like, I achieved this. I've seen it even at the psych hospital working with adolescents. So now you have, like, these kids who, they feel worthless. They're not afraid of anything. They don't know God. And that is a huge part of it. Yes, I'm not telling you what religion to be, but when you know God, I feel like, like, if I'm the daughter of God, like the child of God, like God took his time to make me, that already starts to build some sort of confidence. It can, for sure. But anyway, then they just go and they get in trouble, and they just figure, like, they see it all the time. I mean, they're gonna end up dead or in jail. Like it becomes a normal repetition for them. They see this stuff. I had one guy who one time he said, he was mad about something. We were talking to him like, "Nah, but you can't act like that on the outside. Like, there's rules to follow, whatever." And then the sergeant was like, "Because you don't want these cops, getting trigger happy and shooting you." And he was so mad. And he was like, "I don't care. They could kill me. I don't even care." And I was like, "Oh man, brother." I was like, "Listen, man, you've been through something that I don't know anything about. I don't know. You are hurt right now." And when you said that, like, you was just speaking out of a lot of pain. And he started to cry, but he just wouldn't look at me. And I was like, "But you are worth living. You're worth, your life is worth it. And you're worth making it out of here to tell the younger kids how not to come in here and how to survive. Not even survive, how to live in their story." So, for that moment, he, yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm not here saying changing lives, but it's a lot of hurt and pain out here. It's a lot of lost souls, lost children, and they're kids are being attacked in every kind of way, whether it be um by ideology, with this confusion with gender, whether it be through feeling miserable and sad, whether it be through crime, whatever. Kids are getting attacked, and this is our new generation. This is the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't feel like they're worth. A lot of them, not everybody, but I meet some. I mean, just even meeting 2 kids that don't feel like they're worth anything. It's sad enough. That's sad. It's sad. But at the same time, too, this is where the tough love comes in. If you have broken the law, you have to do the time. You have to do the time. I can't, be like, "Well, he grew up a certain way." No, because the life that you took, that you have to do the time, because, excuse me, you took a life from somebody they didn't know, that they didn't do the thing to you. So you got to do the time. So I don't even know how I got all the way there. But it's the culture too. That's why I like watching Broken Traditions and stuff. He says he's a mirror to the culture and all that. It's the culture. We really need to let these kids know, like, it's cool to not get involved with drama. It's cool to just do you. It's cool to learn some different science. But while we wrapping up too a little bit, on this channel, I'm getting ready to like bring different people. Like Thursday nights are gonna be interview night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be interviewing different people, talking about a lot of different things that are happening in this country, things that have happened in the past that are mimicking themselves again. Socialism, Marxism, stuff like that. Also, people who have been through, some rough times and have a great story to tell that can be a good positive example to people out here. And excuse me, and still talking about the culture, talking about the politics, talking about like all the stuff that's going on. Cause we, people need to hear stories. That's why I started off. There's a lot of craziness happening on the news. There's always something happening. That's why I started off this podcast, this episode today with that humbling story, like that testimony of that lady who just came and helped me with the gas like that. Like she didn't know me, but she took me out of a bond in the last minute. There's stories like this out here. There's good things happening out here. There's good people. And I want to shine that on this channel. I do. So with that being said, let me see if I could drop off my Instagram link real quick on here, because I am about to go. My voice is getting a little hoarse. I haven't done one of these in so long. Like I used to, Becky had her daughter. I used to be like on here like all the time talking. If you look back, like talking about stuff like about hold on. I used to be talking about everything. Like, wait a minute. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out another way. I'm like, wait a minute. Um Hold on. Yeah, I used to be on here on this chat all the time talking about everything. Talking about depending on the topic. Yes, JC. So JC, if you want, um DM me on Twitter, so I can know, so we could excuse me. That's my throat. Um, yeah, that's the link to my Instagram. DM me on Twitter so we could discuss some stuff, okay? Like, and see what, because I want to talk about everything. I touch everything. I talk about politics. I talk about the foreign affairs, but of course stuff at home. This is the channel of inconvenient truth, right? So we all got to hear some inconvenient truth at some point, but it's happening globally and domestically, right? In your neighborhood and globally. So I talk about everything, culture, all of it, because just to shine a light and see what's happening, how it's affecting us, and what we can do better. So for sure, message me and we can discuss one of these Thursdays for you to come on. Right now, I'm starting next week, the 19th. I have a lineup of people up until I believe the 2nd of February. But DM me, message me. Anybody who's watching this who wants to message me on Twitter to ask me any kind of questions or whatever, or has any thoughts or ideas or whatever, totally get in touch with me. I'm like open book. All my stuff is open, so I don't care. And I put my Instagram on here too, guys. So with that being said, you guys, I am actually very happy that I did this live, because at first I was like, oh God, I just got out of work. I don't know if I'm going to be really that good on this live. Like, I'm a little tired. But like, it was fun. It really was like fun. Like, we talked about some pretty cool things. So thank you. I'm going to follow you back too. So, I'm glad I did this, guys. So I'm about to end off the live, y'all. Thank you for coming. Thank you. And for anybody who like watches afterwards, please hit the like button. Just continue to always hit that like button. Guys, you guys have a great night. And thank you for plugging me, JC. I see you. Y'all have a great night.